Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
Right now we're going to get to Abigail from Texas. She wants to know what resources are there for people wanting to deconvert. So, hello there, Abigail. You're on the line. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I've listened to the line for a while now. I've grown up Christian my whole life, and like back in 2018, my dad died suddenly in front of me of a heart attack, and he went from like talking to dead within like 45 minutes, and so it was very traumatic. And then about on the 23rd of July, I lost my mother, and of this year. And so it's like, and my mom was very religious, and she always believed in God, raised me to believe in God. But it's just like she was so faithful to him, and she loved him so much, but yet she suffered so greatly. And so it's made me really question, like, why am I believing this? Like, am I believing a lie, or am I just accepting it because it's comforting to me? You know, it's really making me question, because the more I listen to like Jimmy and Matt Dillahunty, like I'm like, maybe I should actually look into some resources and try to figure out whether I really believe this or not.
Well, so the biggest resource that I can suggest is the Bible. I've
read the Bible.
Well, I
have read that thing.
Well, I gotta admit, I'm actually doing a Bible study thing on my channel where we're actually going through the Bible and reading it all the way through, and I had read the Bible prior to becoming an atheist, but I got to say, reading it after becoming an atheist has really opened my eyes. And there's a quote out there. I can't remember who said it, but they basically said the best thing for creating atheists is the Bible, and that's a very like Christian kind of centric thing, but just taking if you're wanting to critically investigate like Christianity specifically, looking at the Bible and what it says and what you assume about your religion, I think is a good place to start. As far as for the opposing side of things, generally when I was searching and I was trying to figure out what I believed, I would actually watch debates. And I don't mean like the dumpster fire debates that you see between a couple of amateurs or just people arguing online. I'm talking about debates between actual debaters and actual people that have like philosophy degrees and stuff like that. The Hitchens debates, those were always good. People of that quality, looking at their debates and looking at the debates of the popular apologists. Like, I don't know if you've been exposed to many apologists. I know I wasn't when I started really investigating things. But I would say watching debates and hearing both sides.
Yeah, my mom's favorite apologist was Ravi Zacharias. She had us listen to him a lot. Like before he died, like we listened to him a lot. And
have you heard about
she liked listening to him.
Yeah. Have you heard about the?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh no, you're fine. It's there's a delay, so it's going to happen. It's fine. Have you heard about the recent allegations against Ravi Zacharias?
No, I haven't. I know that he passed away from cancer. He died actually a little bit before my mom did. But I didn't know he had any allegations against him. No.
Oh yeah, apparently he
That's
owned
shocking.
he owned massage parlors and he sexually assaulted women that worked there. Is the allegation.
What?
So supposedly that happened.
That is not circulated in the churches.
No, I
Oh my
would not. I would
God.
not
I did
expect
not
it to
know
be.
that.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's a. I don't know if you're on Twitter, but I know on Twitter there's a Ravi Watch.
I'm not on Twitter.
Who,
I'm on Facebook and but I don't have a Twitter account.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I would say just looking into the specific arguments, either through like the debates that we had talked about, or just general things that you might find on Facebook, like links to blog articles or something like that. It would be a good place to start.
Blog articles.
And yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean blog. I don't mean blog articles that's like something at wordpress.com or something like that. I just mean like blog like articles from people that seem like they know what they're talking about. It might be a little hard to suss out.
Actually educated on what they're talking about.
Yeah,
like
Bart Ehrman. To suggest one, Bart Ehrman is a pretty good one. He's an agnostic scholar that does textual criticism, and he's got a lot of articles about like the New Testament, how it was formed. He's got a lot of great books too. Books, I always forget about books for some reason, but there are a lot of great books out there where you
I'm
can
an avid
investigate.
reader.
Yeah. I don't know, Lauren, do you have any advice?
Yeah. So, Abigail, first of all, thank you for calling in and sharing about your parents. And I'm so sorry to hear about that. That has to be super difficult. You almost made me cry. So I hope that you're doing okay now.
It is hard. Like, it was hard.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's just, that's the main reason. Like, I'm angry, like, about it. Like, it's not fair.
Yeah. I always think about stuff like that and how many tragedies happen like that. And even just 2020 itself with COVID and the tumultuous election that's going on, it's hard to, I mean, obviously I'm an atheist, but like in your position, it's hard to say like, even if I believe in God, how can this be a good God? Because either he's making this stuff happen or he's allowing it to happen. But I think,
because everybody says when good stuff happens, it's God, but if bad things happens, it's not him. He didn't have any part of it, but yet he created everything, and he's supposed to be the one who's in control of everything. So how come it's not his fault? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Yeah, and I have to say it's super comforting if and when you come to accept that God very likely does not exist, and humanity is complex, and the world is very complex and multifaceted, and a lot of the bad stuff that happens is because other people made it happen, or because shit happens. Like, no one's just like, hey, so and so, I'm gonna give someone cancer today because they did something bad. Like, no, that's just biology. Like, shit happens, and it really sucks, and it doesn't diminish how bad these things are. But I think like the beauty of it is, not only can you take more responsibility for your actions and like how you respond to things, but you can also understand that there's not someone like pulling the strings and making all this horrible stuff happen, and you can sort of ask questions from a human perspective, and maybe even look at like if someone did something bad, like what did they go through as a child, or like you can go into this whole rabbit hole of like, is free will real or not, which not going to get into it today, but as far as resource I have a lot of thoughts, but like as far as resources, like John said, I would definitely look at excuse me, at debates. And a book that I recently read that kind of, even though I've been an atheist for like 7 years, a book that sort of solidified things for me recently was Sapiens. Have you read Sapiens?
No. What was the name of that again?
Yeah, Sapiens, like Homo sapiens. It's by Yuval
Sapiens?
Noah Harari. Yep. It should be,
Okay.
yeah, first thing that comes up. It's pretty long, but it's just like it's a nonfiction look at the history of humanity from, way, way, way in the beginning of like our earliest traceable hominid ancestors all the way up through today. And there's a lot of discussion in there about how God was invented. And why so many different
Oh,
people
wow.
seem to like have a belief in God and like simultaneously invented this idea of God. So yeah, it's really good. If you can kind of find resources that
That
talk
sounds
about
really
it,
interesting. I definitely,
yeah,
wow, I definitely want to check that out. That sounds really good. I want to read that.
yeah, fantastic.
Thank you
And
for
definitely
telling me
keep,
about that.
of course, and I would definitely keep looking at, find good clips from the atheist experience and some of the other atheist community of Austin shows, John's call-in show, this call-in show, because you're going to have a lot of people
Mhm.
call in with their personal deconversion stories. You're going to hear a lot of different questions thrown at people that are really going to make you think and kind of
Mhm.
help you um, through that journey. But again, thank you so much for sharing all this with us. And I'm so sorry to hear about your parents. And I hope that things only get better and more clarified for you from here.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys both for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Of
Oh, it's no
course.
problem. We enjoy.
You guys have a good night.
All right, you do the same. We definitely enjoy having these kinds of conversations. And if I can add one other book, one book that really kind of helped me see religion from a different perspective is
Mhm.
kind of a classic. God is Not Great: How Religion Poisons Everything by Christopher Hitchens.
On my
He
shelf.
goes through. Yeah, he goes through a lot of things in there
I like
that.
kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know if you've
I do.
read that particular, huh?
I haven't read that particular book, but I know who Hitchens is.
Okay, that one's a
But
really
I
good book
haven't read
to
that
look
book.
through.
But I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's a really good book to look through. I would suggest putting that on your reading list too, if you're wanting different views there.
Yeah, I am. I'm really been that's the main reason I started listening to Jimmy's channel, was initially just to hear the other side and just kind of understand where he was coming from and why he believed the things he believed. But then all the tragedy happened and it caused me to go, wait a minute, why am I believing this? Like, I don't
Hmm.
have any proof God exists. I mean, I can't prove that. I can't scientifically prove anything that I believe, so why am I believing it? And I think that's
Right.
been the biggest thing for me, but mainly watching my mom, who loved God with all her heart and served him all those years, die the way that she did, I think was the biggest turn for me to start thinking that maybe what I'm believing isn't correct. Because, I mean, she served him her whole life, and look where it got her. So
Yeah,
that
those
was the
kinds of
biggest turn
situations
away.
can. Yeah, those kinds of situations can really make you rethink things. And typically people
Mhm.
go one of two directions, and that's either they get more solidified in their faith, or they start questioning what they believe. So I think that as long as you
Right.
honestly like seek the answers and investigate for yourself what you actually believe instead of having other people tell you what you should believe. I think that either side that you come out on that, at least you're the one making the decision. So either way that you go with it, I'm just glad that you're making the decision for yourself.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you both, giving me those resources and talking to me. I really appreciate what you guys do. You guys really do help people like see things differently. And, as someone who does believe in God currently at the moment, it does help us understand like why people see that Christians sometimes can come off so bigoted and just mean. And it's just like, you just listen and you're like, oh my goodness, I promise I'm not like that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But you guys do a good job at like explaining yourselves and like why you guys believe the way you do. And I really respect that.
Well, I'm so glad that you appreciate the content that we put out. I'm glad that we've been able to help you tonight. And I guess you have a good night. I hate that you've had to go through the things that you've had to go through, with losing your parents there. But I hope you have a good night, and I hope that we get to talk to you again in the future.
Thank you. You both have a great night.
All right,
Thanks,
you too.
Abigail. You too.
Bye.
And John, folks are mentioning in the chat, I don't know if Abigail's still watching, but another great resource, if you are still watching, is Recovering from Religion and, the Freedom from Religion Foundation. I would highly recommend getting a Twitter account because there's a great community of us there, and Recovering from Religion is amazing. Go to their website. There's tons of resources. Definitely wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, that's a really good call. Thank you for bringing that up. I can't believe I spaced out on that.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.